Nobody ever brings up Sid's name when it comes to promos. Bro, when he was Sycho Sid and he would be calm and crazy and psychotic and all these emotions in 90 seconds. Bro, you know how many of those I produced? One take every single time, and I would just sit there in absolute awe.
Speaking of top guy, we lost one recently, unfortunately. One of the best big man of the history of professional wrestling. You know, it's interesting, man. We were just talking about Sid on our show recently, as far as just, you know, someone. Who was it? You were talking about EC3, how you were a fill-in for Sid, and how Jay Lethal was a fill-in for Sid one time, and just absolutely in character, just did an amazing job with the whole poof, and who's the man, and just very, very like Sid. And it's so cool, man, that Sid has such an infectious level of charisma to him that someone like a Jay Lethal that's like 6 to 8 inches smaller, not even the same race, could still encapsulate someone like a Sid and do a wonderful job at it because he was so good as a character, man. Just from your as a little kid, let's go back to little EC3. When it comes to being looking at Sid back in the day, man, what do you remember of Sid as a little kid fan?
I mean, first off, I thought power bombs were cool as hell, you know, so I liked that, but I did have a irrational fear of him as he was billed as a psycho, and little kids don't like psychos.
Yeah.
You know, I think the matches with like Shawn stood out to me at that time, but even in WCW, when I was more of like acute and mentally aware of what was happening, he was always engaging to watch. And then, did we talk about the leg break on the last time we talked about him?
I don't think so.
WCW match?
Yeah. Because I just had one of our guys at the school go down, breaking his ankle. I'm like, on a scale from 1 to Sid, how bad was it? Because I was in the other room. I was like a 7 to Sid. So I'm like, it still sucks. Shout out Jason Hendricks. You'll be fine. You're going to do great. But yeah, and then the idea of whose idea that was, did we ever talk about that? For him to do that front kick off the ropes for no reason? Like who would even consider that, let alone making a 6'8" gigantic man in jeans do it?
I think you talked about that, Vince. You were saying Laurinaitis. Yeah, it was Laurinaitis.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it was. I
really liked the ECW brief run too.
Yeah,
kind of coming into my own as a fan with more awareness, but like seeing him in Austin and these guys I've seen elsewhere, like do these like brief spots, but like I don't know, when they had freedom to be different and they weren't, necessarily harken down on a way to portray themselves. It was always interesting to see how they acted. It was like it's like you go to a local dive bar and Cheap Trick is playing and there's why? And they're just railing, they're not doing their set list, they're not playing their best of, they're just there to play music and have fun. And you're like, why is Cheap Trick playing? And I don't know why they would be, but you go to the local bar and they're playing. That's what it seemed like.
Did you ever work with Sid in the Indies?
A couple like passing throughs and hellos, how you doing? But never really anything deep or personal.
Vince, you work with Sid in both WWE and WCW. We went at length as far as just memories with Sid. Do you have anything else to share?
No, again, I'm just gonna say, bro. Somebody like made a wisecrack on social media, like, bro, you were there. Like, who? How come I don't know you if you were there, bro? I beg anybody, go back to the WWE, the Shawn Angle, and all that stuff, bro. Look at Sycho Sid promos.
Yeah,
the most nobody ever brings up Sid's name when it comes to promos. Bro, when he was Sycho Sid and he would be calm and crazy and psychotic and all these emotions in 90 seconds. Bro, you know how many of those I produced? One take every single time, and I would just sit there in absolute awe. He's never even in the conversation. If you guys have not seen a Sycho Sid promo, please go on YouTube and look him up. Unbelievable promo.
I really like the one where I think it was an independent where he's trying to take that shirt off. The shirt's too tight, Paul.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vince, as far as his facials are concerned.
Oh,
man.
my God, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, he just embodied that Sycho Sid character.
Man, he'd get red in the face. He'd get all that.
He'll start laughing and just get real serious. And just, I remember even with when he came back and when Slater was doing his Legends thing, man, and he came back in WWE for a week for a match and had that match with Heath Slater. And then he did the power bomb and things like that. And as soon as he pinned him, and then he was in his 50s, early 50s at that point, as soon as he pinned him, that amazing Sycho Sid music came on, and he did the whole gimmick, man. He kind of was like kind of slithery, and he looked straight, like he just like laser-eyed the camera, like just like staring right through the camera, you know. And it was just like, man, just those little nuances, man, when it comes to character work. I love stuff like that, man. And it just really goes to show, I've said this before, just how important it is for someone to really have a lasting character. Matches, there's very, very few matches that last. You know what I mean? Like a Steamboat Savage, Hogan, Andre, you know, Undertaker, Michaels. But characters last, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I really commend someone like a Sid. I can't tell you 5 memorable matches from Sid, really, honestly. I can't tell you 5. If I think deeply enough, I probably could. But offhand, I couldn't tell you 5. But I could tell you that he's a Hall of Fame character.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many 5-star matches he had. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? I care about that his character is legendary. So I appreciate that with the Sid. So. And don't forget that he's the master and the ruler of the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.